Okay, so this is my story. I apologize in advance for the nasal sound. I have really bad allergies all the time, so there isn't a perfect time to record this. It just is what it is. So, my story. First, let me give you a little bit of just some understanding as to why I choose not to show my face on my videos. I have decided that my channel is for God and for God only, and I don't want to muddy that by showing my face. I also have a history that I'll get into in a second that will kind of explain to you more as to why I want to keep my face behind the camera. I'm trying not to cause any disturbances any more than I have to in my life, so I want to keep that simple, and I do that by just showing my hands. But I'm not just here to show you how to make jewelry. I'm not even really here to show you how to make jewelry. I'm here to show you how I make it, so that you understand that everything I do is from scratch by hand, and I do it in a way that I cannot find words today. I do it in a way that glorifies God, or at least I hope that I do, to point people to Him, to allow you to share your story of salvation with other people. I've mentioned that before in a video where I actually did show my face. It's probably the only video I will ever show my face. I don't know, it depends what God asked me to do. I'm here, I'm doing as God asked, and that just is all there is to it. Speaking of doing it as God asked, this is a video that I've actually been putting off for over a year, and God is, because of my disobedience, God has sort of wreaked havoc on life as I know it, because I wasn't listening. I wasn't doing as He asked. I thought just creating videos was enough and I could get away with that. I don't want to get too personal here, but I do need to share my story, and I'm going to try to loosely do that. If you have personal questions, feel free to find a way to message me. I am on all social platforms: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I have a Gmail account. I'm not sure if that's linked through YouTube or not, but I do have a Gmail account for the business, and you can contact me actually directly off of my website. It goes directly to my Gmail. But so here I want to get started with the very beginning, and that goes all the way back to my childhood, and I'm not trying to do some sort of therapy session here where I'm blaming everything on my parents. That is by far what I'm trying to do, but I did have a very rocky childhood. I lived in two separate homes. My parents were separate, or were divorced, so I lived in two separate homes. One home was safe and loving and kind. It was very strict, but I knew I was loved. The other home, not so much. I never felt comfortable there. So later on, things were discussed, and I've come to peace with that. But I had outside influences through my childhood that affected me. And I don't want to, I'm going to warn of trigger warnings here because I don't want to upset anybody, but I was abused through my childhood. by other people outside of my family. So I had that to contend with. And then when I was 13 years old, I lost my best friend. He was, I was 15 when I lost him, but he was 25. And I say best friend, I say it loosely. My godparents, it was their son, and it was kind of a running joke in our family that I had been promised to him in marriage once I became of age. And I say that really, really loosely. Don't get me wrong here. We're not like, it wasn't some religious thing or anything. It was just a running joke within our family. My mother was Baptist and my godparents were Catholic. So I was raised in both denominations through my childhood. But when I lost that friend, it was very devastating to me, and it put me on a downward spin. That and the fact that we had some issues go on within our church that caused us to leave the church. So then at 16 years old, I found myself pregnant. And the father eventually decided that he wanted nothing to do with the baby. I then at that point, early on in my pregnancy, left my home because my mother wanted me to have an abortion initially, and then she wanted me to put him up for adoption. And so I left, and I ended up moving with my grandmother to a different state, and she tried to take care of me and help me prepare for the baby. And then when I was 7 months pregnant, my father called. He'd been out of the picture. He hadn't been in my life since I was 9. He left when I was 9, completely just left. So I had stopped going there to be with him. And he called me and he said, "I hear you're in trouble, sweetheart, and I want to help you." And at that point, I felt like I was a big burden on my grandmother. So I let him. And that put a very big rift in our family at that point. But I was of the mindset that he's ready to help and he wants forgiveness, and I'm going to give it to him. And I'm very grateful that I did, because 6 weeks after my son was born, I had gone to visit my grandmother, and on the way home, I looked at her and I said, "I can't go back there. Something's wrong. I need you to take me back and let me pack some things, and I'm coming home with you." And then I went home with her, and she flew me to see my mom with my baby. Probably about a week after I'd gone back with her, I went to go be with my mom. And my brother at that point was living with my mom and decided to load his car with his girlfriend and take off to my dad. They were going to move with my dad. And I remember sitting on the porch begging and pleading with him not to go, that something was wrong. And I had had this conversation with my dad as well. He was very upset at me for leaving, but I told him, I said, something's not right. I'm not supposed to be here. And I told him, I said, I'll see you again. I'll come back. I'm coming back. I'm not leaving completely. I can't be here. Something's wrong. So I sat on that porch and I had this conversation with my brother about something being wrong and that he didn't need to be there. So the night before the event that actually happened, my dad called me, and he was still a bit upset with me, but he told me that he understood and that he loved me. And I said, "I'll see you soon." And he goes, "I don't think you will. I don't think you will. I think I've lived my life. I've lived a good life, a long life," which he was only 40 at the time, which is just mind-boggling because I'm 44 now. and to think that I've surpassed them. But so the next night, my mom gets a phone call, and she comes in my room and she said, Ken's gone. And I immediately stood up and dropped to the floor because I thought it was my brother, because my brother has the same name as my dad. My brother was on the phone telling my mom that he was watching our house burn down with my dad inside of it while he sat in a fire truck. My son was 6 weeks old at this time. So then we go through that process. There's no closure when it's a house fire because there's nothing there, there's nothing left. So fast forward. So this is 1999 when this happens. This is December of 1999. Fast forward to 2020 or 2001. I was living with my grandmother and my mother with my son. And my mother ended up loving my son. She actually thanked me for not giving him up for adoption. She said that she didn't know what she would have done, that he was the best thing that had ever happened to her. So fast forward, and I met a guy in 2001. He was the nicest person I thought I'd ever met. He would buy me things and bring them home, and he would help take care of my son. And very early on, though, cracks started to show in the relationship. Very, very early on, he started to do things that were pretty much unforgivable that I should have walked away from at that point. And I knew when I moved out with him that I should not be living with him, that I should not be moving out with him. So I ended up pregnant again. At this point, I'm 19 years old. And I'm having a little girl. And the day I told this man that I was pregnant is the day he started to abuse me. So it's New Year's Eve, and my mother comes over, and I'm just about to burst. I am past my due date. I was due to deliver December 31st, and my daughter isn't born until January 4th of 2002. My mom is there on New Year's Eve, and she looks at me and she holds my belly and she tells me, I just want you to come out. Or she tells my daughter, rather, I just want you to come out. I want to see you so badly. And I look at her and I just kind of laugh, and I just say, you'll see her in a few days. She'll be here. I'm scheduled to be induced. You'll be fine. She'll be here. And she looks at me and she goes, I don't think I will. So that night, as I watch her leave, I look out the door and I'm watching her car pull off. And something deep down inside of me tells me that I will never see her again. So the morning of the induction comes, and I get a phone call, and it's my mom. And she wants to speak to my then fiance. He wasn't my husband. I went back and forth on whether or not I should marry this man. But anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. So I'm like, what's wrong? She won't tell me. So I give my fiance the phone, and he immediately hangs up and calls my grandmother, and he says, Pam is in her room. She can't get out of bed. She can't move, and she can't get your attention. She's been trying to call you, but she can't yell loud enough to get your attention. So I go to the appointment to begin the induction, because it was already planned, and we were getting dressed and ready to go. So we go to the appointment, they get me ready, and then they send me to the hospital. On the way, I go and I drop my son off with my grandmother, and I go to check my mom, and my grandmother's just losing it at this point. She doesn't know what to do, so I tell her to call an ambulance and have my mom transferred to the hospital that I'm on my way to. This pregnancy is very smooth. It happens very quickly, so I deliver a healthy baby girl. And then I get a phone call from an ICU doctor down the hall telling me I need to come say goodbye to my mom, that she's not going to make it through the night. Somewhere along the line, they decided that maybe she was going to make it through the night, so they'd sent my brother home. My entire family was there for the delivery and for my mom, and then they start to go home. The next day, I'm begging, please let me go see my mom, and they're just like, we need to do one more test, one more thing, let's do this, let's check the baby for this, let's do that. And then my step-grandmother walks in the room, and again, I stand up, I pull IVs out of my arm, and I hit the floor. And my brother is halfway home in another state at this point. So the day after my daughter was born, my mom was called to heaven. So here I am, 19 years old, and I'm an orphan with 2 babies. And if you've ever lost a parent or a close loved one, you know that even 24, 25 years later, it's like it happened yesterday. So here I am, 19, 2 babies, in a relationship with a man that is abusing me on a regular basis. My family knew it. His family knew it. His ex-girlfriend knew it. The mother of his oldest son knew it. But I was stubborn, and I was bound and determined to try to make it work. 12 years of my life, 3 children with him, so I have 4 total children. Lots of intervention by therapy, family. I had some family that didn't, that were on his side, that thought I should just be a better wife, do better. I had some family that told me I made my bed and now I had to lie in it. And I tried for a very long time, until the day he tried to take my life and my oldest son's life. Luckily, because of all the intervention I'd had through the years, I had a go bag, and I had provisions set aside that he didn't know about. I had a phone that he didn't know about. So I recorded as much as I could to protect myself to protect my children so that they wouldn't have to be left with him, which is most of the reason why I stayed for as long as I did. I didn't want my children. I didn't want to have to share custody and have my children to be in that environment with him, knowing how he was. And I'd love to say that he changed his ways, that he went to prison and he became a better person, but he hasn't. And I don't know if he ever will. I say all that to say, through it all, through all that pain, all that heartbreak, God was there with me. All of it. I felt him there. He spoke to me. I heard him and I felt him on an almost daily basis. There were times deep in the darkness where I felt alone, but I always knew that he was there. And then the redemption began. In 2014, I married the love of my life. He's a man I met way back in high school. We never had children together because I had medically I needed to have that ability taken away. So there was that. But he's raised my children as his own, and they look to him as his children. We work deeply in the church. We are the music ministry for the church. God has shown up and shown out so loud and so visibly within my life, in financial ways and in emotional ways. He's just always been there. And so probably, I'd say about 7 or 8 years ago, I decided to hand this business to him. To just give it all to him. Just no matter what the cost. Even if it cost me the business, I was going to do it for him or I wasn't going to do it at all. So that's my story. At least the bits that I'm willing to share publicly. I know there's more I could go deeper into, but I just don't want to keep this too long and make this too boring. I think I've already been rambling, for 24 minutes. So I'm going to voice over, I'm going to lay this over a video of me making something, but that's me. I'm still a work in progress. Nothing is perfect. Nothing will ever be perfect. There will always be loss in my life. There will always be heartbreak. But I have 4 beautiful children and an amazing husband to show for all the heartache, all the trials. Most of my children are grown now. I have one still at home. He's my world. He is my best friend. And I love each and every one of them so much. And I am so proud of all of them. That's my story. And I hope and pray that you're here with me. And that you're walking with your own story. And that you can look and find that redemption. Find those quiet moments where God held your hand and He was there with you. Life's not easy. It was never meant to be. But we have our Bible and we have our God. and that makes it a heck of a lot easier than it would be without it. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble. I pray that you have a good day and that God blesses you in everything that you do. In Jesus' name, amen. The devil is really on me about this video, so I must be heading in the right direction, right? Mics keep dying, tripods don't want to work, whatever it is. Let's start over. Welcome in, guys. Welcome to the studio. Here I am, recording the video that I said I wasn't gonna record, said I didn't want to record, but God said, this is what I want. And I'm done not listening to God. I'm tired of not listening to God. So here I am, trying to do my best to listen to God. So I felt as if God was nudging me to kind of come on and clarify, and I feel like He wanted me to do so in person so that you guys could connect a little more, and realize that I'm just a human, just like you. Just a human with flaws and imperfections. I'm just here. Alright, let's try this part one more time. This part doesn't want to be recorded, and if it doesn't work this time, then I guess that means God doesn't want it here, because I've tried to record this part 3 times. This is the 3rd time. So, yeah, we'll see. I don't know how I'm going to piece this all together, but I'm not going through it all over again, so I'm going to do this one part. So I was saying in the part that where my mic went wrong or bad or didn't work was that if you didn't catch my drift from the voiceover, is that I lived in an abusive relationship for 12 years, and because of that relationship, I never truly healed from the loss of my parents. And also because of that relationship, when you're in an abusive relationship like that, you feel like you deserve it. You've done something to deserve it. You're unworthy of anything better than that. And that, no one, including God, cares. That's the part I wanted to say. I'm not sure how it's gonna piece together, but hopefully it'll make sense. Alright, we're going micless because, whoops, I messed the camera up now. Yep, we're going micless, and this is just gonna be all over the place. Sometimes that's how life is, right? I did turn the air conditioner off for you guys. But yeah, I never dealt with the loss of my parents. I never grieved for them. I think I did in little spurts, little bits here and there, but it wasn't until a decade after my divorce that I truly began to process that loss. And it's still hard. And a lot of that is because they were my parents. They were close to me, and I've lived a life. I've lived an entire adult life without them. Every birthday, every holiday, every child's milestone without them. That's a lot to carry. But I don't want to keep rambling. I don't want to keep crying. And you can probably barely hear me because I speak so quietly to begin with. I wanted to say that no matter what the trial is, God has got you. It's not going to be easy. He never said it was going to be easy. It's work, just like a marriage, just like any relationship. You have to work to keep it. You have to show up every day. Be willing to open your Bible, throw up a prayer, listen to praise music, connect with Him. Let Him guide you, let Him lead you. Don't let the ways of the world lead you, because the ways of the world are only going to find you in hell, and you definitely do not want to be there. Just keep going. Hold His hand. Lift up your hands and just hold His hand. If you ask Him, He will be there with you and you will feel Him. And it's okay to be mad. It's okay to be upset. He understands. He truly does. Thank you for being here with me. My goal in all of this is to save one soul. If I can just save one soul, help God save one soul, that's all that matters. I'd love to help save them all. But there's a lot of us out here trying to do it, and I have to be fair and share. No, all joking aside, I don't want to get to heaven and see that my loved one isn't there with me. I don't want to get to heaven and see that you're not there with me. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a good day.